First up on this list is an old one, but a classic nonetheless. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Para and Dox returned and entered a tag duel against Jaden and Cyrus. The same duel that ushered in the entrance of E-Hero Tempest riding a futuristic Segway like he was Paul Blart Maul Destroyer also gave us an evolution to Gate Guardian. Dark Guardian requires the spell card Dark Element in order to summon it from the deck, and it needs you to pay half your life points and to have Gate Guardian in the graveyard. All you get is a 3800 attack beat stick that has the only effect to not be destroyed by battle. Yeah, good luck with that, I guess it walls out S39. Everyone was telling me how god-awful this card is, and really, it isn't that terrible. All you need is a Foolish and Gate Guardian to be in your deck, and you have a 2-card 3800 attack beat stick. It's not bad because it's hard to summon, it's more just awful in the fact that you need Gate Guardian to be in the deck at all. Dark Guardian only seems to make it on here because of the sins of his father, but those sins are plenty and reprehensible. Oh hey look, it's the Zexal manga again. My favorite. Next is the final boss of the entire manga, Ira. Dystopia the Despondent is a massive level 12 with 5,000 attack and defense, and this ultimate creature's effect is it disables Xyz summoning for the opponent. Okay, so for all the effort to get this thing out, you get the lockdown of one summoning of the extra deck rainbow? Yeah, real god of despair here. I mean, you can normal summon him, sure, but that's pretty pie-in-the-sky thinking right there. Yeah, let me break out the Stormforth to just straight up summon a big Ooga Booga that kinda restricts the opponent, but not really. Very worth my time. Makes literally all of the sense, entirely. Let's just move on. Hey, you guys enjoy Odd Eyes? That one segment of Zark that gives it the ability to be an effect monster and a pendulum? Well, how about Yu-Yu's manga version of Zark, but only in the sense that you need the other 3 dragons to make it. Odd Eye's Revolution Dragon has a powerful effect to pay half your life points to shuffle all other cards on the field and in the graveyards into the decks, as well as make his attack equal to the opponent's life points for that one-turn swing for game. A very nice and powerful effect, but the drawback here is to summon it, you need to tribute Clearwing Synchro Dragon, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon from your side of the field. Good luck with that in Master Rule 4 is all I have to say on that. Even in Master Rule 3, this would have been a challenge given you would need a Poly, a way to make level 7s, and 2 level 4 monsters. Even then, the amount of effort and need for multiple links in the process just rails into this thing harder, and makes it harder to summon than Great Magnus in real life. It even shares the general meme of Great Magnus, which is, how do you summon Great Magnus? You just kinda don't. You don't summon this thing, simply put. If you have, sure thing, put that in the comments, proud of you. But try it against anything tier 10 and above and there will be problems. Pyramid of Light was an admittedly funny point in the history of the game. From giving us a monster who cannot be summoned until years later, or cases of people getting the exact same promo multiple times, it was still a blast through and through. One of those moments that defined the movie, I mean, aside from Joey getting stabbed in the ass by a needle, that's my favorite, was the main villain Anubis and his boss monster, the number 7 entry, THEINEN the Great Sphinx. Admittedly, you can summon this THEINEN easier than the actual THEINEN, because you can special summon it outside of having to make ANDRO Sphinx and Sphinx Telia while Pyramid of Light is up, and then nuking them both at the same time. As for its effect, when it's special summoned, you can pay 1,000 life points to gain attack from all monsters in your graveyard until the end of your next turn. He's the biggity-big boss monster to end all beaters, but that's all he is. He's the ultimate swing for game that totally won't get swung back at you or destroyed because you dared style on your opponent. You have to nuke 2 monsters simultaneously. They're pretty hard to summon anyway, and also are not good, which is a shame considering how abusable they are in the anime. You flip the pyramid, and then you can summon them from the deck, just inherently. Link spam aside, this is so incredibly powerful that THEINEN comes out because they needed a bigger boss monster in the movie, I guess. You can't have 2? I don't know. With the real-life Sphinxes considered, there's just no reason to use this. Why would you dark hole your own board and summon THEINEN? Just don't do that. Man, what was with Season 4 of DM and crappy sets of monsters for the villains? Valen had the armors with, like, 1 good monster, and Raphael had guardians. Can I talk about them without being called a ripoff of Rada? No? Okay. And they had guardians. Finally, we have Alistair with a hodgepodge of various builds he used and an actual deck themed around war because, hey, do you know this thing called Backstory? He has it, and he has a lot of it. The boss monster of that deck being Air Fortress Ziggurat. First off, you need the spell Sky Union, which has you tribute 3 monsters you control to summon the airship from deck specifically. Just because making it in hand would have made it too easy, I guess. Man, getting my own war flashbacks from Royal Straight Slasher so far. As for the rest of it, it's a 2500 attack level 8 that is unaffected by spells and traps. Other than that, it spawns robot tokens at the end phase, and your opponent cannot attack monsters you control except robot tokens. So, you need a non-searchable spell card, and enough tributes for a god card, and for all that you get a 2500 attack monster that only spawns tokens at the end phase. Really not much to say on him, other than the fact that Alistair's family died to this, I guess, and it makes me think that they were playing Noble Knights without Merlin or something. Grandpa Muto was a fun character, and we all love him dearly. Sadly, his Ancient deck was not the strongest, and neither was its boss. Ancient Dragon is a massive headache to make. That's all I could really say. I could end the segment, but we'll go into detail. So first off, you need to have the field spell Ancient City out on the field. Okay, that's reasonable, because terraforming's a thing. They need to control 3 cards on the field. A level 5 monster called Ancient Giant, the normal spell Ancient Gate that is effectively treated as a continuous spell that does nothing else, and the continuous spell Ancient Tome, which is just kind of weirder card trader. With City's effect, you then need to send all 3 cards you control to the graveyard to summon the big dragon from hand, deck, or grave. And for all your trouble, all you get is a 2800 attack beatstick that can destroy all defense position monsters your opponent has if it destroys a monster in battle. That is all. All that goddamn work and you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir! Copy-paste Ziggurat and why it's bad and add a field spell and you get the general idea. Wing Karibo was always a fun card, and a symbol of passing the torch to Jaden from Yugi. It was especially amazing when Jaden made level 10 to straight up murder Chaz's VWXYZ extra topping with the Hold the Tomato ABC123, that is what you mean to me, Megazord, and get the Chaz it up, exiled. However, in the manga, Jaden must have forgotten Transcendent Wings and resorted to equivalent exchange. Wing Karibo level 9 requires the spell Alchemical Experiment, oh boy, Alchemy in GX, how could this go wrong? Which has you banish 3 monsters from your graveyard and tribute 1 Wing Karibo to special summon level 9 from your hand or deck. As for its effect, it gains the attack of what was banished, and it kills itself at the end phase. Easier to summon than the real Wing Karibo level 9 perhaps, but certainly not worth the effort. That is all. It's there for 1 big attack and then dies from the experiment gone wrong. And all this was used for was against a one-off opponent in the GX manga who ran something completely irrelevant to the story. Do yourself a favor and stick to level 10 as that dude's actually helpful, if a tad meme-worthy. Hey Uriah, you got any issues with number 3? Yeah, we'll rework the contract later, just put it in my memos. Number 3 is Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, and why? Okay, so unlike the real-life one, you can tribute any 3 monsters for its summon, but compared to the real-life one, I'm gonna put a hard yikes on that. Whenever the opponent summons, you get a token. These tokens cannot attack and only serve the role of being fuel for Raviel to swing, or in the unintended way, make links. And yet the tokens are so weak they will just get run over before your turn even comes around. Raviel is probably the closest to his IRL counterpart, and that's not a good thing. Lord of Searing Flames and even the Lord of Striking Crystal Beasts are better than Raviel here. At least he's big and blue, and that's something to write home about, I guess. So you guys remember Red MD? That dragon dude every dragon deck runs because of how powerful that special summon and effect are, and the OCG ban due to guard dragons recycling him like, what, 30 times in a turn? Well, sadly, his anime version was nothing so fearsome. See, this version takes over the shiny orphan of the archetype, Red Eyes Metal Dragon, in just how useless it is, but by much, much more. So you need Red Eyes Darkness Dragon first, already not a good card. A small challenge unless you've got a build dedicated to darkness for whatever reason. As for what else you need, well, it ain't no Metal Morph. Instead, you need to use Magic Reflection Armor, Metal Plus, on Darkness to bring it out from hand. As for effects, all you get is a 400 gain per dragon in your graveyard, preventing spells from targeting him, as well as a discard 1 to negate any spell that rivals the almighty Horus! But yeah, needless to say, there's nothing much more to talk about. Whoever decided this thing wouldn't get a direct adaptation from the anime, let's hope he still is on staff for future adaptations like Vrains' Drones. That's hinting at 2 things, and guess what they are in the comments. Number 1 is an absolute treat, basically a snack. Maybe ice cream, join the Discord. Back in Season 3 of GX, Jesse was possessed by Yubel, and his Crystal Beasts were corrupted along with, to make the Advanced Crystal Beasts, as well as entry number 1 on our list, Rainbow Dark Dragon. To start, it has the same condition as Rainbow Dragon IRL, just needing the 7 advanced dudes to come out or chill in the grave. What you get is a 4k beatstick that can't proc its effects turn 1, and dies to Cold by the Grave, as it banishes itself when one of the 7 is not either in the graveyard or on the field. It's a much more fragile, harder to summon Exodia Necros, and is worse in literally every way. Keep in mind, there's basically no reason whatsoever to play the Advanced Crystal Beasts over the real-life ones. And if you don't believe me, who here plays Crystal Beasts? Okay, I saw like 3 hands there. Now, do you play Advanced Dark for any reason? Exactly.